and it hasn't completely had a lot of rotation throughout the rest of the afternoon, but in the past couple of, I'd say 10, 15, 20 minutes, we've been seeing a little bit of tightening up on this storm, and that's why this severe thunderstorm or this tornado warning has been put onto this storm. So that tag that you can see underneath it, that hashed gray line, that is of course that tornado possible tag. There hasn't been anything saying that this is a storm on the ground. Again, this is just something that is radar indicated. So as we get some eyes out there, thankfully there are spotters and it is daylight still, so people can see if anything is actually on the ground out there. No indication just yet of anything. But again, they were saying that they didn't completely like the data that was being produced out of this and the look of that storm. I'm also getting reports that the sirens are being activated in the city of Marshall. So if we zoom in on this storm, let's take a closer look. Marshall, you are in this tornado warning. It looks like Darko, you are on the back end of this tornado warning, but make sure that you're still in your safe place. If you are hearing those sirens, you are in that polygon. Of course, you are not in this tornado. You are on the back end of this tornado warning right now. But again, we want to make sure that you're in your safe place still until you're dropped out of that tornado warning. So Gill, you are also in this tornado warning. Crossroads, you are in this tornado warning. Bel Air, I also see you in this warning. So make sure this is moving right overhead of you right now. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more and I'm going to take that storm track off so we can see. So you can see again that we have Bel Air in that, Crossroads, Gill, and Darko, as well as Marshall. In just a few minutes, we're going to be heading back to our network, and right now we're going to be heading back to our network, but we want to make sure that we are going to stay on streaming, and I will walk through this tornado warning with you. We also have another storm that we'll be watching as well. Hey everybody, we are jumping on our live stream here on Facebook. We have some stuff going on air, so we're going to come up here, and if you want to follow along with this tornado warning that's moving across Marshall, then I'm going to stick with us for the next 15 or so minutes until this expires. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning that has just moved over Big Sandy just north of Winona and is headed towards Gladewater. Lots of lightning in that storm. Now, that's not tornado warned, but it does have a tornado possible tag on it at the moment, so that's another storm that we're going to continue to watch as well. So again, I'm going to be here for the next 15 or so minutes and see if this tornado warning gets extended. And until then, we're just going to kind of walk through this. So I know earlier, if you were on air with us, you heard me say that Darko, you were on the back end of the storm. Now you are definitely out of that cell. You are still in the tornado warning, but I think it's safe to say that you're thankfully on the back end of that storm. If there was maybe some hail, some gusty winds, we'd love to know. Give us some reports on that as well. Crossroads, you were still on the front edge of this storm. Gill, it looks like you might still be getting some heavy rain. Marshall, you were also in the thick of this storm, just kind of on the edge of that leading edge. Scottsville, you're up next as well in that polygon, so make sure that you are getting to your safe place. And if we zoom in here, see if we've got any street names or anything. Bel Air, you were also in this. This is moving through Harrison County. So if you know anyone that's driving on I-20 headed maybe towards Shreveport or headed towards Dallas coming from Shreveport, make sure that you let them know that this is crossing I-20. It's right on top of I-20 right now. And I mentioned earlier it was a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it that was switched to a tornado warning. So the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag did get switched to that tornado warning, but the time didn't change. So we're still going until 4:15 on that tornado warning, and thankfully it is moving to the east. So once it crosses over into Louisiana, and if they don't continue that, we can come off of streaming even earlier than that. But we are going to continue to watch this as well. I'm going to pop our storm track back on here. So that's actually changed from, it was first showing some stronger updrafts, but it does look like it now has a little bit of rotation. So I'll zoom in on this and I'll drop these warnings off here, and we'll click on this and see maybe what our Titan indicator is showing us, if I can get it. So tornado impact is very low, wind impact also looking low, but it does look like this storm is moving relatively slowly, getting close to about 20 miles per hour, moving towards the east. It does look like maybe some hail, so possibility of hail 100%. Looks like maybe about over an inch of hail, making it a little bit more severe. So definitely dropping some heavy rain though in that storm system, as well as some of that hail. So if you're on the back edge of this storm, we'd love to maybe see some of those pictures. If you are able to get out safely and maybe take some pictures of some of that hail or some of that heavy rain, it might have caused a little bit of flooding impact as well in your area. But right now, remember, this is moving towards Marshall. Crossroads, you are also in this tornado warning. It's moving towards Jonesville as well, and this is all going until 4:15. So no word just yet if the National Weather Service is going to continue this downstream. Right now, it looks like they are still watching it, still monitoring it. No word yet, again, if it's going to be continued. So we have still probably another 5 or so minutes on this, just over about 5 minutes on this tornado warning. It doesn't look like they have any talk about continuing it. They're also monitoring this storm a little bit further back that was north of I-20. So let me zoom out and we'll go back here and look at this storm as well. It's moving right over Gladewater, moved through Hawkins, and it's north of Winona. So if you are in that storm, no tornado warning on that. That one is also, I think, going until 4:15. But you just saw that there is now a new severe thunderstorm warning that also has a tornado possible tag. It's moving right over Gladewater, lots of lightning in that storm, and that's going to go until 4:45. So no tornado warning on that just yet. Again, we still have that tornado warning moving to the east that's until 4:15. The tornado possible tag moving over Gladewater right now. I'll zoom in on this and we'll take a quick look at this storm. So if you're in this, again, no tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. So the ingredients are there. It's capable of potentially producing a tornado. There was a little bit of rotation in this storm earlier that we were watching, and I'll actually flip over to the velocity and we can see if we see anything at the moment. I'll kind of turn off our lightning here as well. So very kind of broad rotation. Doesn't really look like what we would be looking for here is some bright reds and greens bumped up next to each other. We can see some red and green, but it's very broad and it's darker. So that's a good sign. That's a good indication that maybe nothing, or definitely nothing very tight right now. So something that we can continue to watch, and that's why the National Weather Service has placed this tornado possible tag on this storm. But it has weakened since we looked at it earlier. So we can hear some rumbles of thunder here in Tyler. Now the storms that are moving through, I'll kind of widen this out as well, flip this back to reflectivity and kind of widen this out so we can kind of see what's going across. Tyler right now in a little bit of a cell, Martins Mill, Brownsboro, Athens, this whole storm system that's been moving in from the Dallas area is now kind of moving across parts of northern East Texas. If we look a little bit south into deeper parts of East Texas, it's still relatively dry in deeper East Texas. And that line that was moving through the Metroplex, you can see the bottom half of that line is moving more through central Texas. And there's a little areas of rotation moving towards Waco that have moved through Whitney, near Lake Whitney as well, but that looks like it could potentially miss up. It could clip parts of maybe Houston and Trinity County, but thankfully that is not in our area right now. There is a severe thunderstorm warning on that, but again, that is off in central Texas at this time. We are hearing once again some rumbles of thunder, maybe getting some hail in some of these storm systems. Athens may be getting some hail, maybe have a Titan indicator showing that we could be getting a little bit of hail in that storm. Marshall, showing a Titan indicator now, has gone back down from rotation, a weak rotation, to a severe thunderstorm with maybe some hail in it as well, but still under that tornado warning just for another 5 minutes. So this hasn't been extended, and I'm looking to see if the National Weather Service has said anything. They're going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning, still haven't said anything about that tornado warning that ends at 4:15. So that's a good thing. They're going to continue these thunderstorm warnings as well from Big Sandy over, making their way towards Longview. So if you know anyone in Longview, let them know that they have some pretty strong storms headed their way, at least some heavy rainfall, lots of lightning in these cells as well. And that's kind of the picture that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. Lots of very electric storms. And remember, Brett Anthony always says when thunder roars, go indoors. And that's because even if you're in some of these areas and you're not getting rained on just yet, we have lots of lightning in these cells. So that can strike up to 30 miles away. So we want to make sure that you are in a safe space. And I know we're hearing some thunder here, so I'm sure a lot of places across East Texas are also hearing some thunder as well. So let's zoom in again on this tornado warning, take another look at that. If you're in Marshall, you are in the storm as well. Crossroads still in the storm. Darko, you're in the tornado warning still, but definitely out of the storm. You're actually not even in that severe thunderstorm warning anymore. Gill, not in that severe thunderstorm warning anymore either. Bel Air, you are still in both the tornado warning and the severe thunderstorm warning. It is right on top of you if you are in Bel Air. If you're in Marshall, you're hearing that heavy rain, probably some rumbles of thunder, seeing some lightning. I'm going to drop these watches and warnings real quick, and we'll click on our Titan indicator, maybe see. Actually, what I'm going to do here is switch over to the hail tracks and see if we can get any hail on these storms. So doesn't look like maybe any hail right now in this storm system, even though our Titan, oh, there's a little bit. Okay, so it could have dropped a little bit and back near the Darko area. Thankfully, it's only looking like marble-sized hail as it moves through. You can see right over I-20, maybe dropping some marble-sized hail as well. So thankfully, nothing very large. Marble-sized hail isn't probably going to damage anything, but again, could be a little scary. Could make some loud noises on some cars and some roofs, but thankfully not going to cause much damage. We'll switch back over to velocity here as well. You can see just some broader reds and greens, which is also good news. That means that things have really weakened up since we were looking at this storm earlier. National Weather Service, let's see. Not really saying anything else on this storm system at the moment. I'm trying to see if they're going to continue this tornado warning. They might be letting it expire in the next 3 minutes. So we'll stick around on here on streaming and we'll keep watching this for the next 3 minutes. But remember, if you're in the polygon, in that Marshall, Crossroads, Bel Air area, it's best to stay in your safe place right now. We don't want to take any chances, although it does look like they're going to probably let this expire. We want to make sure that you're staying safe, probably hearing lots of thunder, seeing lots of lightning outside, But again, everybody's going to be okay. This storm, once again, is passing over you, but it should be, thankfully, moving at about 20 miles per hour. So it's going to be moving out of your area in the next couple of minutes. We're going to widen things out just a little bit and take another look at this storm system over towards Big Sandy, north of Winona. It's moving towards Gregg County, or moving into Gregg County, I should say, towards Longview. Lots of lightning on that storm as well. If I take a closer look, if you're in Gilmer, you're not going to get hit by this specific storm. You're not in any warnings, just yet. Let's see. If you were in East Mountain, Glenwood, White Oak, you are all getting right on the leading edge of this storm. So you're probably starting to hear some thunder, maybe see some heavier rain outside. Lots of lightning in these storms as well. Gladewater, this is right on top of you. And Big Sandy, you're still in a little bit, but you're not in that new warning that's been extended down towards the east. So they are going to, it looks like the National Weather Service is going to let that Harrison County tornado warning expire, and they're going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it. So we're going to continue with the tornado possible tags in the storm that's moving towards Louisiana over Marshall. So they're going to take that tornado warning off, and we will probably stop our stream for a little while because we are going to jump on air here in the next 45 minutes as well, and we can give you all the latest updates on that. But again, as the storm moves through Marshall, they're about to drop that severe thunderstorm warning any minute now, or severe tornado warning, I should say. There we go, dropping those warnings, and then they, in just a few minutes, will pop another one on that storm, probably with that tornado possible tag is what they were saying. So again, we'll come off air we'll come off the stream in just a few minutes here. I'll widen things out so we can see kind of what's going on across the area here. Take a last look. Lots of storms, mainly north of I-20, and I'll put the lightning back on here. You can see there's a lot of lightning. The heaviest of those storms is really off in central Texas, and it still could clip parts of maybe Anderson County, Trinity County, Houston County as it moves towards the southeast. It also looks like there's maybe some pea-sized hail near I-20 in US 59 in Marshall. So that storm does have some hail in it, potentially some smaller hail like we were looking at earlier, just marble size. So probably not going to cause any damage, but if you want to get inside or put the car inside just as a precaution, this is a good time to do so. You're not under that tornado warning anymore, but we are. Oh, we do have another tornado warning. They actually decided to, yes, tornado warning coming back out for Harrison. Okay, so they did decide to continue this over the Marshall area. So they dropped the severe thunderstorm warning on that tornado warning. They changed their minds last second, and they do have this tornado warning going until 4:45 now for Marshall and the Crossroads area. So this one cell right here, this is going to continue moving towards Louisiana. So this is a new warning for Harrison County. Lots of lightning in this storm once again, maybe dropping some smaller hail like we just talked about, some pea-sized hail in this storm. I'll turn off the watches and warnings once again, and we will look at this. Clicking on our Titan indicator here, it does have some hail, and our Titan indicator saying maybe up to 1 inch in size. I know when we switched earlier to our hail estimates, it was showing a little bit smaller hail. If we have anybody that's out in that area later, maybe some spotters as well, we haven't gotten any reports of anything just yet. And remember, we want you to stay in your safe place if you are under this tornado warning, because it has been reissued. So don't go outside just yet if you are in this polygon. Again, the tornado impact is a 0, so it's very low. They talked about reissuing just the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag, but they went with the tornado warning, so we're going to stay on streaming again for just a little bit longer. Hail impact is almost at a 5, so there could be some larger hail mixed in. I'll actually switch back over to take this off real quick and switch back over to our hail and see if we've gotten maybe some more hail in the area. Let's see. Here, that is our rainfall rate, so let's see here. Okay, so this is still showing maybe some marble-sized hail, but maybe getting up to quarter is what our Titan indicator is saying, and it doesn't look like, I'm trying to see here, quarter-sized hail possible. So there could be some quarter-sized hail that our indicators here just aren't picking up this time, but again, We want to make sure that you're being safe. So if you were in Crossroads, you were right on the edge of this storm. Marshall, Scottsville, Bel Air, you were still in this tornado warning, although you're on the back end of it. I'm actually going to put this into reflectivity mode here. So we've got some lightning. We've got some updrafts of hail, again, some stronger updrafts. But those arrows there are yellow, so that's a good thing, showing that we could be a little bit weaker. So we saw just a second ago the velocity. If I put it back to velocity, maybe a little bit of red and greens here, but again, not very bright and not super tight. So that's all good things. But we're continuing to monitor this storm as well for the next about 30 minutes. So even though this has been extended, again, we are going to continue to stay on streaming and watch this. So if I flip back over to reflectivity here, you could see this tornado warning. It goes until 4:45 once again. If you're in Marshall, we're taking a look. Scottsville, Lay, you are on the outskirts of this, but it is headed your direction. So if they do continue to extend this your direction, or if you're just going to want to go ahead and take some precautions, you are on just that very front edge of this tornado warning. So it is headed your way. It is headed that direction towards the east. So go ahead, make your plan now, decide what you're going to do. Even though you're just on that leading edge of the storm, it's best to go ahead and act like you are already in that polygon and take those precautions now. Karnak, you are also in this tornado warning, just on the very edge of this. Baldwin, if you're in Baldwin, you're not in this tornado warning. This is moving towards, again, Lay, Latex, Waxham. You are on the leading edge of this as well. So not in the polygon just yet, but again, moving your direction. This storm is moving kind of along I-20. So make sure you're taking some precautions. It is headed that direction. This tornado warning that's going until 4:45, I'm sorry. So Crossroads and Marshall, Bel Air, this is right on top of you right now, not showing any real signs of tight rotation. I'll switch back over to our, we'll go to our storm relative velocity in just a second. And look at this. So if I drop our storm track right here, we can see a little bit of red and green, not a whole lot of bright green in there at all, a little bit of bright red, so maybe some gustier winds, and I'll actually do a little sample of those as well. But it doesn't look like anything super tight out here. So maybe some gusty winds, these winds maybe 30 miles per hour here. I'll sample up by Marshall as well. Again, maybe up to closer to 40 miles per hour. So gusty winds nonetheless in this storm, even if there might not be a super tight rotation at the真that the National Weather Service is watching. Haven't heard anything about any tight rotation just yet. But again, gustier winds in this storm. So if you have anything outside, again, we don't want it to get blown away, but you are already in this polygon. So make sure that you are in your safe place from those gusty winds, and again, maybe some smaller hail. So I'll go back to our reflectivity here so we can see our storm there. We'll take off the storm track. We'll also look at all the lightning in that storm as well. So if I sample this here over the Marshall area, recently we've had, it looks like, just over 100 lightning strikes. So lots of cloud to ground lightning in this storm as well. So not only do you want to be in your safe place because of a tornado warning, of course, if that wasn't enough warning that you need to be in your safe place, the lightning is also a great indicator that this could be a stronger cell, and of course that we want you to be indoors. We don't want you out by any windows because you're in a tornado warning, but we also don't want you outside because of any potential for gusty winds, and of course any lightning strikes. It's not common that, you know, people get struck by lightning, but it's better to be safe than sorry for sure. We don't want you outside when we have a lightning storm like this one. So I'm also going to scroll back over here and kind of show this cell that's moving over Gladewater, and we'll take a zoom in on this one. White Oak, Glenwood, East Mountain. If you're in Wilkins, you're on the back kind of edge of this severe thunderstorm warning. But you've still got some heavy rain and some lightning, some rumbles of thunder headed your way as well. Some lightning in the storm also, so if you're in these areas, it's best to stay indoors. If you're in many of these areas today across East Texas, remember I said earlier that lightning can strike about 30 miles out of the storm. So you want to make sure that you are being safe and staying indoors if you can. So we want to make sure that you're not going outside, you're not trying to take pictures of anything. It's even best to just stay inside, not staying under just anything covered. It's best to just be indoors in general. So I'm going to take a wider look at some of these things. We've got that, looks like those storms that were in central Texas have a severe thunderstorm warning that's bumping up to Henderson, Anderson County, and moving towards deeper parts of East Texas. Right now, right on the edge of Mejia, moving through Corsicana. Looks like they're headed towards Palestine. So if those hold together, that severe thunderstorm warning right now goes until 5:15. It could be extended into the East Texas area and into deeper East Texas areas. And of course, we'll be on air around 5 o'clock. Or at 5 o'clock. So we'll of course continue to give updates on that as well as these storms move throughout the rest of the evening. So let's take a look in around I-20 once again. If you know anyone traveling on I-20 at this time or within the next hour or so, maybe tell them to pull off somewhere, go find some cover, get a dinner break for a minute, or not leave just yet. There's a lot going on right on top of I-20. So if you're in Lindale, Mineola, Canton, all of these areas are getting some heavy rain, lightning. The Marshall area, again, under a tornado warning that's moving right over I-20 as well. So we don't want to throw caution to the wind, and we want to make sure we're being careful right now. If you are, again, in Crossroads, if you are in Marshall, Jonesville, Lay, I remember this is moving towards Lay as well. Tornado warning until 4:45. Again, this is right on top of I-20. You would have to drive through this tornado warning. So if you know anyone moving or going from the west to the east or the east to the west tonight over I-20 in the next hour or so, I would tell them just to wait just a little bit if they're traveling within this kind of section. So also a new severe thunderstorm warning just popped up. We're going to take a look at that right on top of Tyler, Owentown, Browning, New Chapel Hill just outside of this as well. Winona in another severe thunderstorm warning. The good news about this severe thunderstorm warning is there's no tornado possible tag on it at the moment. So just maybe some gusty winds and some hail possible. Let's take a look at maybe what the National Weather Service is saying on this one. Severe thunderstorm warning, central Smith County into northeast Texas. This goes until 5:15. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail are possible. So it's been radar indicated. Again, lots of lightning you can see on the radar in this storm, so don't go outside just at the moment. And we want to make sure that you are being safe. I'm actually going to see here if I can get our Tyler camera. It might actually be up. Do we have our Tyler camera? It's frozen? Okay. Let me see if I can fix that and we can maybe show outside. Oh, perfect. We're going to actually take a look at our Caldwell Zoo cam. You can see lots of rain out there, no animals at the moment, but we're really just looking at the rain. So definitely a lot of rain. I don't really see any hail, which is a good thing. Trying to look for some flashes of lightning, but I don't see any at the moment. So just lots of rainfall, definitely heavy at this time. So if you have any plans to get outside, you might want to hold off on those at the moment. So Tyler Pounds definitely getting lots of rain. Owentown, Browning, you were kind of in between two waves of the storm, but this is moving towards your area. You are under that severe thunderstorm warning. If you're in Lindale, you're not under the severe thunderstorm warning either. But once again, we are under that until 5:15. Lots of lightning. I'm going to take a wider look again. This stretches all the way back down to Athens, as well as Chandler up through, that looks like, let me turn the lightning off here so I can read this real quick. New Harmony, Lindale, Ben Wheeler, Hawkins, Gladewater, all the way up to Ore City, Jefferson area. It's a very long line of storms. Thankfully, it's weakened a little bit since earlier, but again, this is still continuing to move through East Texas. So taking a wider look again, going all the way down through the Waco area, all the way up through Texarkana. So this has been a very long line of storms that has moved through today. Let's see. we'll take a closer look back again on our storms right here. So tornado warning still in place until 4:45. So we have, I'd say, another 15 minutes on this. No talk on that storm system at the moment. They haven't been saying anything about that. They issued that new severe thunderstorm warning for Smith County, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning with this tornado possible tag that's moving towards Gregg County. But no new talk from the National Weather Service on that at the moment. I have tried to get our questions up and going, but I can't see to get to Facebook at the moment. So I'm just going to keep going on this. But lots of lightning in these storms across East Texas. Again, make sure that you're staying indoors, not only if you're in that tornado warning that's on top of Marshall at the moment, but just because we are looking at all these storms. Yeah, I'm going to toss to our Kilgore cam real quick, and we can take a look at that. You can definitely see we've got some darker clouds. We'll zoom in here on the map so I can see, kind of get my bearings, but definitely darker clouds. This is looking, I think, do y'all know what direction this is looking? Okay, perfect. This is looking northeast, so we're kind of looking right into this storm. So you can see darker clouds kind of over there, over that theater, but no rain, it doesn't look like at the moment in Kilgore. Dry, but again, we're getting lots of storms heading that direction. So yes, if this is looking northeast, we're looking towards that storm that's actually in White Oak, right over Gladewater, and this is going to be continuing to move that direction. So Kilgore's getting a good view of this without being in that severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. Not seeing any lightning at the moment in this storm, but that cell definitely does have some pretty strong, or a lot of lightning in it. So it's a pretty strong cell that's moving through that area. So if you're in Kilgore, you don't have to worry about this at the moment. You're not in either of those severe thunderstorm warnings, but you actually are in a little bit of a break from the rain at the moment, but you've probably got some more coming. So if you look at our map here, we've got it in a double box. Kilgore, you are in a break from the rain, but you're kind of surrounded by these severe thunderstorm warnings, lots of lightning. Again, we have that tornado warning that's off towards the Marshall area. I haven't heard any more updates on that from the National Weather Service, but still some gusty winds in that area as well. So I'm going to throw our storm tracks back on here so we can look and see. So maybe showing, again, no really rotation being picked up in that Marshall storm, but maybe some now back towards Smith County. So let's kind of take a look at our Smith County storm here. This would be right over Tyler. So I'm going to switch to our velocity really quick and turn off our lightning here. So we can see a little bit of red and green here, nothing very tight, nothing very bright either. So we're looking mainly at some like brighter reds and brighter greens, which is what we're not really seeing here. We don't see any, I'm not very concerned. I'm not seeing anything very, nothing to really be worried about at the moment. You're looking for mainly brighter colors here. We see some just darker reds, some darker greens, which would indicate the winds blowing to and from the radar, which I'm picking up on Shreveport radar right now. And you saw that most recent scan, a little bit more of brighter green at the moment. And so what I'm going to do here, I'll click our storm tracks back on, and I'll take this severe thunderstorm warning off, and we will do a little sample and see what our indicator says. So tornado impact at a 1. So out of 10, that's relatively low. It does look like our winds are pretty gusty out there. We're seeing maybe up to 60-mile-per-hour winds. These storms are moving really slow, 15 to 20 miles per hour. So slow storms, but the wind impact again here is saying low. So it might be hailing out there, and some larger hail is possible up to about an inch in size. So that could cause a little bit of damage on maybe some cars and some roofs as well. So if you are in the severe thunderstorm warning and you could safely put something up, you have the chance. We're not under a tornado warning, but again, there's a lot of lightning out there, so make sure you're being careful. Try not to go outside. Some gusty winds also at this time. It's best to stay indoors. I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot of damage from this storm, but we sure have seen a lot of damage over the past couple of weeks with some of these storms as well. So even when this storm passes, maybe this severe thunderstorm warning gets extended But this storm is still, you can see, back towards Athens, Ben Wheeler, Murchison, Moore Station. We've got more coming. So I'll take a wider look once again. You can see this just continues to be coming from the west towards the east. So East Texas, we're going to be getting a lot of these storms over the next couple of hours, and we'll continue to keep you updated, if not on our stream, for sure on air at 5, 6, 6:30, and then we'll check back in at 10, although most of this should be passed by about 10 o'clock. So we're going to check again on this tornado warning in the Marshall area. We've got just less than 15 minutes to go on this. Crossroads, you again are on just the back edge of this. Wascom, you are on the outside. Lay, you are also on the outside. But again, if this was to get extended, which again, the National Weather Service hasn't said anything about extending it, but they didn't last time either. We want to make sure that you're just being prepared in case this does get extended. I'm going to turn the lightning off here so we can really zoom in. Scottsville, you are right in the middle of the storm. Bel Air, you are finally in the back end of the storm. Marshall, you are approaching the back end of this storm as well. So if you know anyone traveling on Highway 80, on I-20 towards Shreveport, or just coming out of Louisiana, on Highway 43, these are all areas that are right in this storm. And again, lots of lightning, some gustier winds possible in this storm, maybe even some hail. We picked up some marble-sized hail in that earlier, but we even did have indications from the National Weather Service. They could see radar indicated up to about an inch. So that, again, could cause some damage, be about quarter-sized. So make sure that if you know anyone traveling in that area, if you know anyone just living in that area, that you go ahead and let them know that what is going on as well. Can we jump back to our Kilgore cam also? We've got some clouds that are really interesting clouds out there as well. So look at the waviness pattern of that cloud, of those clouds. This is the storms that we're looking into. And let's see, if we're looking from Kilgore, again, you're looking straight up into this storm, White Oak, East Mountain area, heading towards Longview. So this is a very interesting storm here with maybe a little bit of rotation in it, and I'm going to check once again. So still nothing bright, but we're still seeing some greens and reds, a little bit tighter back here. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning has a tornado possible tag on it, but the National Weather Service hasn't said anything about putting a tornado warning on it. They haven't even put out any new indicators that this storm, the severe thunderstorm warning, will continue going after 3:45 when it expires. So we have another 10 minutes on this storm. But until then, I'm going to stay on here and we're going to continue to watch both of these storms. So let's look at this storm in Marshall again, right on top of Marshall. Kind of the same thing here. We're looking for bright reds and bright greens bumped up really close together. We're seeing red and green close together, but it's pretty wide. It's going all the way from Marshall close to Crossroads, and it's not that bright red and green, almost white color. Sometimes it turns like kind of a yellow cream color. We're not seeing any of that. So that's a good sign that if there are some gustier winds in here, or maybe a little bit of rotation, it's not tightening up, which would indicate maybe a tornado or a funnel cloud. We also haven't had any reports of that from the National Weather Service at all, and they did have some trained storm spotters that have been activated in Smith County and Upshur County, and so in kind of these areas. So nobody has indicated anything on any of these storms. If we take a look back at the storm in Smith County as well, this one maybe has a little bit brighter of reds and greens. Of course, I don't think we've gotten a new scan on this one in the past couple of minutes since we maybe last looked at this. I think this is the same scan that we had, but you can see this one has a little bit brighter green, but still pretty broad, and still we don't have those bright colors that we're really looking for, that tight indication of tighter rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually switch over to maybe our hail track. We can see some of the areas that we're dropping hail. Yeah, so this storm system in the Tyler area dropping some hail. That's northeast Tyler. So up near County Road 376 towards County Road 384, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to Highway 271. If you are in any of those areas, maybe getting some up to nickel or quarter-sized hail. So that would be a little bit more damaging hail as well. So Otherwise, maybe other areas of Tyler getting just some marble-sized hail. Tyler is on the kind of back edge of the severe thunderstorm warning as well. So I'm going to zoom out here. We're going to go back up to this storm near White Oak and Gladewater. So it looks like Gladewater had pea to dime-sized hail, some reports of pea to dime-sized hail in Gladewater. Union Grove may be having some nickel-sized hail. Gladewater also may be having some nickel or quarter-sized hail as this moves through. You could see Clarksville City, that hail is going down, but maybe some marble-sized hail still out there. White Oak also maybe soon to get some marble-sized hail. Marble, of course, is hail, but it's on the less threatening end. It's not probably going to cause a lot of damage. It's just you can see it. It might cause some problems traveling, but otherwise not a whole lot. It might beat up some plants, some new summer plants that you've planted, but not going to cause a whole lot of damage, if any at all, to probably cars or roofs. So that is a good sign. If we look at our tornado warned storm over here towards Marshall, the hail's significantly going down in this storm as well. And what we can look at here is when we know that hail is being produced less, if we're not getting that big, large-sized hail, it means our storms are a little bit weaker. So when we're getting less large hail, it's really a good thing. Not only good because we're not getting damage to our cars, our roofs, and our property, we're also because our storms don't have as strong of updrafts, which would also indicate maybe some of that rotation as well. So let's switch back over here to reflectivity. I'll put that back on. And I'll also put the lightning back on there. So you can see that tornado warning still in place for another about 5 minutes. No indications from the National Weather Service on any of our storms currently, if they're going to continue any of these. I would assume that they would at least continue our next couple severe thunderstorm warnings with some of that hail as well. And all that lightning. You can see those 3 areas are really the areas that with some of the heavier rain, we're also seeing some of the strongest lightning. Now this storm back here to just north of Moore Station with that little bit of rotation on it as well. Currently this is out of our area, but lots of lightning back here. So I could see a new severe thunderstorm warning possibly moving from about the, what is this? The Moore Station, Ben Wheeler towards Tyler Pounds, once again moving towards Smith County. So that could be another possibility. We're seeing a lot of lightning in that area. If I put on, if I go back to our hail indicator here, probably showing, okay, yes, showing a little bit of hail near Brownsboro as well. So, and just south of New Harmony, just west of Tyler Pounds. So this is all probably moving once again into Smith County, moving that direction. So if you're not in this severe thunderstorm warning just yet, just know that maybe some more hail, some heavy rain is coming in. So this actually looks like our hail core went up just a little bit in Smith County, maybe getting up to quarter-sized hail, a little bit closer to maybe $50 in those darker blues that you can see just north of Farm Road 2767. So in this kind of neighborhood, just under County Road 376, you could be getting some larger hail, maybe indicating some stronger updrafts as well. But we have no new information really on the storm at this time or what the National Weather Service is expecting to do. But if I put it back in reflectivity, you can see, again, lots of lightning in these storms. Lightning correlates to larger hail and also those stronger updrafts. So more lightning, more hail, also stronger updrafts in those storms. So that could mean that our storms are going to continue. They've got that strength. We've had a lot of humidity in the air recently, and we haven't had a whole lot of storms move through our area today. If you're north of I-20, you've had some of those storms, a few scattered thunderstorms, nothing really severe moving through the area. So we've had a little bit able to eat up that energy in the atmosphere. But now as the rest of these storms move through, especially south of I-20, we haven't had nearly as many storms today, so there is more fuel for those storms to continue as they move through the East Texas area towards the east. So I'm going to zoom in on this storm moving towards Louisiana. It's getting closer to the border now. We don't have any new updates on that tornado warning. It's expiring in about 3 minutes, but again, no updates if they're going to extend this anymore. And if they do extend it, it will likely be across the Louisiana border now as well. But Marshall, you are on the back edge of this storm. Crossroads, you are out of this storm also. Lay, you were right on the edge of this storm. So this is starting to move your direction. I know we've been talking about it, but the storm is moving pretty slow, just about 20 miles per hour. So slow moving storm with lots of lightning, maybe some hail in that storm as well, up to about quarter sized. So make sure that you are being cautious as the storm moves through your area. It does look like they are going to put, this time the National Weather Service again saying they are going to put a severe thunderstorm warning on the with the tornado possible tag. So that is what they said last time. So we'll see what they do this time again, because they did put that tornado warning back on it. If you're in Smith County, we can really hear the rain coming down now. We're going to hang out on this storm just a few more minutes. Maybe some hail. I'm trying to hear also some hail. So there's that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. It's going to bump up to the Louisiana border. So that means they are going to drop this tornado warning in just about 1 to 2 more minutes. So I'm going to hang on here on the stream for just a few more minutes until this tornado warning drops. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. We're going to take a wider look at just what's going on. Lots of lightning in these storms, stronger storms. Again, we've got storms that are moving through Mahia now, through Corsicana towards Palestine. So those are headed towards deeper parts of East Texas. So this is something we're going to continue to watch. You can really see we've still got that severe thunderstorm warning in Smith County, of course. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning that is right on top of Gladewater as well. So that would be Upshur County, moving into Gregg County. If you are in any of those areas, you're still in those severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment. I don't know that they have said anything just yet about continuing the severe thunderstorm warning that expires also in Gladewater. They might continue that. We'll see in just a second. But this is all going to continue once again throughout the evening. You can see we've still got plenty of storms that are going to be making their way through East Texas. So you'll definitely want to catch us at 5, 6, 6:30. We'll be checking in on all of those times to kind of see the progression and, of course, talk about our storm chances again tomorrow. So they just dropped that tornado warning. It looks like they also did drop that severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag that was on top of Gilmer and Gladewater. So for now, what we're going to do is I think we will probably end our stream and we will prepare for our 5 o'clock news. And of course, we will have all these updates again for the rest of the evening if you catch us at 5. So I'm going to zoom this out again and kind of show what's going on, a wide look across East Texas. And we're going to stop our stream here. And then we will once again have more details and the latest in the 7-day forecast at 5 in just 15 minutes. So we will end our stream here and we will jump over and be back in just a couple minutes.